Well, hey guys, welcome back. I think this is like video 6 in the COVID-19 series. Man, I'm hate that I'm having to do these, but I'm hoping they are being helpful to you and helping your church address the COVID-19 crisis that you face. Here's one thing I'm discovering. This crisis is bringing out creativity. I'm seeing it everywhere. Churches are creative. Families are being creative. Yesterday, all my kids and grandkids came over and we turned our driveway into like a CrossFit, and we had like 6 or 7 stations and everybody was rotating through the different stations and exercising. All the way from our 2-year-old all the way up to me at 58 years old. And so we were having a blast out there. And so I'm loving seeing the creativity. Now, I said this in the first video. I really believe this crisis can stimulate a spirit of innovation and creativity in the church that we've not seen in decades. You know, it's fascinating to me that in Genesis chapter 1, one of the first things we learn about God, listen to this, in Genesis 1:1, he says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and earth." One of the very first things that we learn about God is that he is creative. One of the characteristic traits of God is creativity. And when we are creative, we are demonstrating one of the character traits of God. Listen, the Holy Spirit wants to move in you and innovate and help you be creative and help you think of new thoughts. I remember years ago, I would tell my son Brandon Lake, he's a worship leader at Seacoast Church. Many of you hopefully you follow him at Brandon Lake. He's one of the best Bethel worship leaders as well. And years ago, I remember telling Brandon, I said, "Brandon, in the book of Psalms, the psalmist says over and over, sing to the Lord a new song." And what we learn from this is whenever God is doing a new work, he wants to produce a new song. New works bring out new songs. And God is always doing a new work. Therefore, there should always be a new song in our hearts. You guys, I believe through this crisis, we're going to see new songs be birthed. But also, I really believe we're going to see a new generation of worshipers. I believe we're going to see a shift in worship. I think we're going to begin to see more multi-ethnic and multi-generational worship styles. I don't know what that looks like, but I believe it's coming. I believe there's going to be new expressions of worship, new types of songs and styles that emerge out of this. Because God is doing a new work, there's going to be some new songs. Now, here's what I want to talk to you about today. I love innovation, and I love seeing the church innovate. But here's the danger. Make sure the innovation doesn't get you off mission. Innovation can be one of the quickest things to get you off mission. So make sure that your innovation is in alignment with your mission. Years ago, I was training some church planters, and we were sitting in a circle. There was about 4 or 5 of us. And I was taking them through this exercise. We were talking about their church and their church plant, what they were working on. And these guys were talking about the building they were going to rent. And they were talking about the equipment they were going to buy. And they were talking about the programming they were going to do. And as I sat there and listened to them, I grew more and more frustrated. So I walked over and I grabbed a giant Post-it and I stuck it on the wall. And I wrote the word, "Church is ... And I just looked at them spontaneously. I said, "Okay, guys, I want you to give me the components of a definition of church. Church is what?" Just throw out some words. And they started throwing out words: a body, community, people on mission together. And we just listed probably 15 or 20 words. Then I said, "Okay, time out. Now I want you to take 60 seconds and I want you to write a definition of church. What is church?" And so they wrote their definitions and then they shared them. And they had some brilliant thoughts about what church is. And then I looked at them, I said, "Now guys, is that what you're planting? What you just defined, is that what you're planting? Or are you simply planting a weekend service? Are you spending 9 to 12 months preparing just to start a weekend event that you will do 52 times a year? Is that what you're planting? Or are you planting a church?" There's a big difference. And so guys, we have to understand what is church. As we innovate, we cannot get off mission. Innovation has to improve our mission, not diminish or distract from our mission. So I want to challenge you and encourage you. Do this little exercise with your team. Circle up, put on a post-it, church is, or if you can't get together, put it on a Google Doc, get them on Zoom and put church is, and say, guys, let's fill this out. Let's come up with a definition. What is church? And then, is what we're doing in alignment with what church is? And so what you do is you filter your innovation and your ideas through the definition of church and the mission strategy of your church. And that's how you make sure that innovation doesn't get you off mission. Now, I want to share a final word of encouragement with you. I've been thinking about this. I believe that God is bringing a spirit of innovation, and that it's going to lead us to act in ways and do things that is going to cause us to see God display His presence and His power unlike what we have in previous generations. I believe if we listen and we innovate and we take on the creative nature of our Creator, take on and say, God, you're a creative God. Your Holy Spirit is creative. Build your creativity in me. If we begin to say that, we're going to begin to see new works. We're going to see new expressions of church. We're going to see new expressions of worship. We're going to see new leaders emerge. We're going to see new and fresh commitment to the local church and living on mission. We're going to see a new display of God's presence and His power, unlike what we have seen in previous generations, if we listen and we respond in obedience. Don't let innovation distract you, but let it drive you towards deepening and focusing the mission of the church. Guys, I love the church. Cindy and I love the church. We're praying for you as pastors. Keep leading strong. If you need encouragement, call me. My cell number is 678-773-5504. Call me, text me. My email, maclake@gmail.com. If you're discouraged, you just need, hey, listen, I got some time. And so if you're discouraged and you just need a listening ear, holler at us, okay? We want to help you. We want to serve you. Thanks, you guys. Have a great one. Keep leading strong.